What's going on, guys? Very20 here, and welcome back. So, yeah, I know it's been a while, but we finally got a 2018 in. It is Jimmie Johnson's Lowe's for Pros 124 scale. So we'll go ahead and give you a look at the box. So new year, new design for the most part. It's the same concept really, but just a little bit different. Jimmie Johnson 48, front of the box there, side, and on the back here. So we've seen this before. If you remember back to the older boxes. Used to have all the stuff on the back here that kind of showed you what was included. Unfortunately, this is a bit smaller than what it used to be. Not near as much detail as what there used to be. So there you have it on the back there. On the side, you got the production number. So quite a few of these made. One of 1,885. So we'll go ahead and start with the car here. We'll go over it. I got a lot to talk about. So we'll at least start with the car and we'll go over it and we'll go from there. So of course you got the new Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 body. So we got the new nose here. And already you see the Chevy emblem there. Bit crooked, big derpy looking. It's even right here in front. I don't know how well you can see it, but the paint is kind of, I don't know, something's kind of jacked up with it there. But the rest of the nose looks pretty good. Again, the Camaros look great. That was one thing Lionel has always done pretty well, in my opinion. The molds and the bodies, I thought they've always done very, very well, and they've always looked really, really solid. And the Camaro looks pretty darn good. And one thing I will mention briefly, I did get this from Farners Racing Collectibles, my local dealer. I'll go ahead and put their link down below in the description. They should have some Camaros coming in, some new Camaros coming in very, very soon. So definitely give them a call if you're looking for one. He should be able to hook you up. But we'll go ahead and give you a look at the hood here. So new for, I'll talk about this a little later in the video, but they did a lot of changes to the series of 124. So this being, I'm not even 100% sure what they call this anymore. I'll call it the Platinum series for now, and of course the Elite series. So they changed a lot of things. They changed the pricing around, but we'll talk about that here soon. So this, you have this little opening here on the hood, so that's new. Usually it's just kind of blacked out, but there's actually a opening there, so that's that. When I look at the hood there, I'll go ahead and lift up the hood. So kind of goofy. The hood doesn't even really open all that far. It's kind of like when they just got the new Gen 6s in 2013. They kind of had the same issue, but yeah, it's kind of hard. I mean, you can kind of see what's in there underneath. Again, there's not really much to show you. Not too much detail of the engine. And of course, no Monster Energy logos on the Hendrick cars this year again. I mean, that's just how it is. Nothing really you can do about that. So we'll go ahead and go down the left side. So not a lot of contingency sponsors here. One thing also new for the Platinum series. So you got the rims are painted. Excuse me. I got the lug nuts and painted and everything. Logos and stuff in there. So there is that. So it looks a little bit better. Contingencies down the side. Not many of them. You got Lowe's for Pros. And down the quarter panel. So one little, kind of missing a little chunk there, the white stripe, white piece there. So looks a little goofy. We got a couple little things like that here and there across the diecast. But you also, the window net a little bit longer here, so it pretty much fills up the whole thing. And you got this little corner window net as well. So it's filled up quite a bit better. We'll go ahead and go to the top here. 48 Lowe's for Pros. Roof flaps still function. They don't really open all the way like they used to. It's kind of weird. That's about as far as it goes. It doesn't open straight up, but it seems to kind of stick. Sort of. I don't know. They're rather goofy. Yeah, they definitely don't open quite as far. So that's kind of odd. But Jimmie Johnson, they're on the name rail, and we'll go ahead and go to the back. So on the back here, there is a lot of things going wrong. It took me a while to really fully comprehend what was going on. So I'm going to do the best I can to kind of show you what's up here. So first off, you got the little graphics here. So this, you got the white stripe. See how it kind of starts here in this little indentation here in the back bumper. So it starts kind of there where it's supposed to, and then it kind of takes off and slants down and kind of overshoots where it's supposed to stop. Not to mention the whole Camaro text here is moved over. It's a bit slanted as well. And yeah, everything, it's almost kind of like everything is pushed and slid over a little bit. So yeah, it's ooh, boy, it's pretty sloppy, I'll tell you that. Now onto the deck lid, Lowe's. There you see did number 1030. So one of the biggest things for me in 2018, the Platinum Series, the deck lid does not open anymore. Now the one good thing that's come out of this is that you don't get the goofy spoiler that sits up way over the end of the quarter panels here. So it actually is kind of rather glued down now, so it looks like it's supposed to. I'm not sure why the opening deck lid caused that such big of an issue with the spoiler, that it didn't sit right, but at least they kind of got that working now. So again, the deck lid does not open, but the spoiler sits on there rather well. So down the right side here, the right rear, I'm not 100% sure if the taillight is supposed to look like this. It looks kind of goofy to me. I don't know. It's yeah, it looks rather weird. I'm not 100% sure what it's supposed to look like. I'll have to pull up an image of it, but yeah, the right rear, kind of where it yeah, it's kind of rough around here, rough around the edges. You can see the paint kind of chipped or kind of rough there, and yeah, it doesn't look all too good. But going down the rest of the right side here, you got Lowe's for Pros, and again, we're missing kind of some of the decal here. LowesForPros.com, yeah, kind of missing the upper corner there, the M, so it looks rather goofy. Going down the rest of the side here, I got a couple different white specks and stuff kind of in the black paint, so it's little stuff like that kind of adds up after a while, but brings you back to the front of the car. So I have seen worse, I will tell you that. I have seen worse, but I mean, if you add it up, so you got the crooked Chevy logo. Again, you're kind of missing a chunk there, the white piece on the back. The whole back bumper seems to be sort of kind of lopsided. On this side, again, I'm not really sure what's going on here with the tail light. It doesn't seem to be seems to be all right over here, I guess. Again, I'm not 100% sure what exactly it's supposed to look like, but that just doesn't really look right to me, but I'm not sure. On this side, again, missing a chunk of the M, so I don't know. It's just like little stuff like that that, it never really seemed to be an issue all too much. And now all of a sudden, like the last couple years, especially like the last two, it's crazy. And now even in 2018, like this is my first 2018, I don't plan on getting many of them, but again, you still see those apparent quality issues over and over and over. Alrighty, so now I want to talk a little bit about some of the changes for the Platinum Series. So for a comparison, I'll bring up probably one of the worst 124s I've gotten in quite a long time, especially in 2017. I'd say this is probably the worst one I got. So this is, you guys probably remember this car, the Ducks Unlimited Dale Jr. car that he ran at Bristol, the Bristol Night Race. So among the issues with this one, the major issues, well, we got some, we got the random 88 sticker just kind of hanging on the back bumper there. Obviously not supposed to be there on this side. I'm not really sure exactly what happened, but the decals got rather warped. So you can see everything just kind of got, squished in there. So yeah, there's a lot of things going wrong with this car. But yeah, so this was the now this year they took a lot of the smaller teams and some of the less produced. So like Dale Jr. still got the Platinum Series here, the hood open, the deck lid open, and everything. You got the standard Platinum Series. A lot of the smaller teams. And I'll show you here in a little bit, like the Cody Ware car, have that. The Clemson car he ran at Pocono, that one was just a hood open only. So they produced a lot of the cars in 2017 with the hood open only, while still producing some of these. In 2018, all the Platinum Series cars will just be these hood open only cars that were kind of part-time in 2017. Now they're full-time in 2018. So obviously, again, the biggest thing with these, two big things. So with this, the deck lid opens from 2017. You'll lose the deck lid in 2018. Probably bigger than that, in my opinion, is the whole metal chassis. So, this one is quite a bit heavier. I was actually really surprised when I got the 2018 out of the box. I was very, very, very surprised at how much lighter it was. So you can, that's one of the first things you feel like it's a lot lighter. And again, you get the plastic chassis, so. A little bit disappointing there, but again, so these are cheaper. This one, $55 as opposed to 65. So yeah, you get a little bit cheaper. So they did, again, they added some more stuff to this. So they added some more stuff that you didn't get with the hood open onlys in 2017. So that was the posable wheels, the painted rims, a little opening there in the hood, and I believe that's really about it. First I'll show you this Cody Ware car I picked up mostly because I got to see this run in Pocono. And of course they don't make too many Rick Ware racing cars, so that was a pretty cool deal. So yeah, so here's what we got last year. Oh, also the mesh window net. That was another new feature. But so this is what we got last year, and again, no posable wheels, plastic chassis, plastic window net, and you can see the black piece there. So it's not open. So basically, just the hood open only, and that's really it. No roof flaps, no nothing. And then they released a couple cars like this. Now this was rather interesting. This is, I'm not even sure I ever posted about this. This is Gray Gaulding's Dr. Pepper car. And this is a little bit different. So this, they kind of took the Platinum Series body and they just kind of modified it a little bit. So they took the hinge out of the deck lid so you couldn't open it, which was very nice of them. But they do have the roof flaps function. So there is that. Posable wheels, you don't have those. You don't have the painted rims. So really the only addition here, I guess, is the roof flaps. But again, this sold for $45. So you take this last year for $45, and we look at this now. Now this is pretty interesting to me. So what do you get with this one that you don't have with this one? Again, $45, $55. So you have the posable rims, the posable wheels, the painted rims. Again, the little opening there, that's cool. The roof flaps function on both, and you get the mesh window net. Other than that, it's really about it. So, you know, at the end of the day, then it's kind of really up to you. In my opinion, painted rims, the little opening in the hood, the mesh window net, not really doing it for me for $10 more than this. But that's just me. $55. I mean, honestly, I almost thought this was almost overpriced for $45. But this was again part of their. They kind of restructured quite a few things. Now, I don't have an Elite in my possession, and honestly, 100%, I do not plan on picking up a single Elite in 2018. I'll tell you why. The Elite series used to be very, very cool. Not only did you get the hinged velvet boxes, you got some seriously cool detail. When it came to engine detail, you got the hinges, the tethers, and all the cool stuff that came with it. They took away the hinge boxes. They took away the cool engine detail. And now this year with the Elites, they did make them cheaper. They're down to $85, but now they don't have the hinges and they don't have the tethers. Now I'm not 100% sure exactly because, again, they took away stuff, but they added little things to the car like they did with the Platinum Series to the Elite. So they added a couple little things. So, but the biggest thing for me that made those cars Elite, first off, for me, when you bought an Elite, it was always cool because you got the presentation with it, right? You got the hinge box, the velvet inside. It was really cool, special box and everything. But you know, you got the hinges, you got the tethers and everything, the cool engine detail, and now all that is gone inside the car. So in my opinion, when it comes down to those big details, you're pretty much stuck with this. Now again, they changed little things here and there, but I don't think it's worth it. I mean, you're basically paying almost pretty much $20 more for this in 2018, and that's really about it, at least in my opinion. Again, the hinges and then the tethers were the biggest parts of Elite, in my opinion, since they took away the other stuff, and now they took that away. Again, this is pretty much what you're going to see with the Elites in 2018. No hinges, no tethers. Everything still opens, which is cool, but you know, I did take a look at it while I was up at Farner's, my local dealer, and again, honestly, you could have fooled me. I thought it was a Platinum Series car from 2017. So again, it almost kind of seems like Lionel is almost charging more for basically what they had last year. So you take this car, probably would have been $45 last year, it's $55 now. You take this car, pass it off as an Elite with a few changes, now you get to charge $85 for it. Kind of horseshit in my opinion, but that's just me. That's just my opinion. Now at the end of the day, I don't want to totally shit on Lionel because I know it's tough. I know it's hard, and I know I have no idea what it's like. Honestly, unfortunately, the diecast, the whole market isn't quite what it used to be. Right, so not as many people are buying, and unfortunately, they have to cut costs and put out less quality diecasts, and it sucks. It really does. But you know, it's not all Lionel's fault, but that's just the way it is. So I'm just here to tell you guys kind of my opinions and kind of, you know, preview and show you guys what you guys are gonna have for 2018. But for a second, you take all the detail away, all the changes and all that stuff. Set all that aside for a minute, and you're back with this, right? You still have these quality issues. We don't even have to talk about the detail of it and whatever. The outside still looks pretty good, and like there's some collectors who could care less about the engine detail. I mean, that's not me. I'm a big fan of all the little details and stuff like that. But that, you know, again, that's just me. So a lot of the collectors, you know, they get a car, they sit it on their shelf and they look at it, and it's cool. It looks good from the outside, but man, like these little quality issues, like the crooked logos, the warped logos, the chunks missing out of some of the pieces, like my God, like sometimes I feel like I could decal a car a little bit better. So that's what usually angers me the most. They can take away detail, they can take away this. Again, at the end of the day, they sort of kind of technically are making them cheaper, but man, like you're still putting out shitty products when it comes to quality. I said it, and that's partially why I don't really understand it, because stuff like this never really was an issue. I mean, again, we come back to this car with extra logos there on the back and warped logos down the side, and I had plenty of other cars that I got from 2017 that all had like decal issues and stuff like that. None quite as major as this, but you know, a lot of the cars you go back and look, and honestly, the race versions were pretty darn solid. Again, they messed stuff up like the Kyle Larson gradient and other stuff like that, but that's a whole nother story. So once again, I'll say it sucks that they take away detail and stuff like that, but unfortunately, it seems like that's kind of what they have to do. But man, for the love of God, please fix some of these little quality issues and make the best of what you got. That's all I've really got to say. So with that being said, a lot of people have asked me where are the reviews at? Where are the reviews at? We missed the reviews. Well, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, it's, well, if you guys remember, I told you guys back early last year that it would be a slow year for me because I kind of saw this coming. Again, like last year, they introduced a lot of the cars to be hood open only and stuff like that. So, again, it's probably going to be even worse this year, especially with Dale Jr. retiring. Most of my cars that I got this year were race versions I went to going to see Dale Jr. and his cars from 2017. I got all of his standard cars for his last season. So, now that he's retired, I won't be picking up any of his paint schemes. You know, I'll still be going to races this year, but I'll pick up those race versions. But other than that, man, this might be the only standard paint scheme that I pick up. Again, the detail's gone down. The quality is unacceptable in my opinion. Just too many little mistakes here and there. It just sucks. Again, I will have reviews out every once in a while, but yeah, just slowing down at this point. So. It is what it is. Again, I don't want to totally shit on Lionel. Again, I would imagine they're doing what they can, but it just brings me back to those little quality issues that I'd love to see them clean up. But to my knowledge, I've never really seen them acknowledge that they have little quality issues like that. I've certainly never got a response from them when it came to an issue or something like that. Another thing that kind of pisses me off, especially when they've always responded to me when I was giving them credit. But again, another story. But I want to go ahead and wrap it up before this gets too long. I want to thank everybody for watching. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. It helps me out a ton. But hopefully this kind of gave you a little bit of help and knowledge on some of the 2018 stuff, some of the stuff you'll see on the 2018 cars. Again, in my opinion, the Camaros look really, really solid. Hopefully, if you guys get one, they don't have too many decal issues and chip paint and stuff like that. So, but that'll do it for me. Once again, appreciate you guys as always. And I'll see you all in the next video.